We respectfully request the Sangha of great virtues, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tăng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mù, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly cô đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed Noble and perfectly homage to the Blessed Noble and perfectly enlightened one. Nam mô Sa Đàn Thù Su Chê Đô Ye Ở La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xế. Nam mô Đại Đạc Tha Tô Già Đà Già La Hà Đế Tam Miệu Nam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns and all good knowing advisors of Emitofuo, 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位主持人、各位善知识Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và các vị thiện sư thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 13th of August 2023. Thank you all for joining us at this discussion of the very first chapter of the biggest sutra in Buddhism, the Avatamsaka Sutra. I'm glad you're here. Okay, now we are in this chapter here. We are introduced is the very first thing that you learn about this chapter is this concept of world ruler. That in this chapter 1, you list out all the world rulers of the universe. World meaning that they rule over worlds. Okay, world is a galaxy, you will. So a galaxy consists of many, many small worlds. Our Earth, for example, is part of a small world, and there are 3,000 of 3,000, so it's 3,000 small worlds that will make up a galaxy. So this galaxy has many, many worlds, according to the structure of the worlds in the universe. We get more of this. Have a clearer picture later in other chapters. I don't think we have time to go into because I really don't have time. We're going too slow. It takes us years to do one sutra, so one chapter. So it's just too long. So it's been a year already, I think, that we started doing this chapter 1, right? almost a year. And we're nowhere near even halfway yet. One chapter. Anyway, so it's introducing us to the concept of who's who in the world, where the world is very well structured, very much like our Earth, where we have kings and emperors and presidents and so forth. And similarly, without the structure, it would be total chaos. And amazingly, we're learning that it will help expand the confines of our narrow mind, that there are bigger and more important beings out there than just the President of the United States or Russia or China, okay? And there's something people call world rulers, who are the who's who of the world, of the various worlds, if you will, okay? And so what's nice about this is that now we introduce to a small number of the world rulers. So every single group of world rulers, the sutra, this version of the sutra, the tiny version of the sutra, gives us only 10 of the world rulers who were there listening to the Buddha teachings. So even with these 10 world rulers, of the 10 world rulers of countless world rulers, if you will, and they gathered there listening to the words of wisdom from the Buddha. And even them who are actually Mahasattvas, who are actually high beings, they're very near Buddhahood. That's why they're there. And yet they hide themselves. So they came down to our world and rule over our world. Okay? Our little selves. So it kind of blows your mind how small we are, how big the universe is, how insignificant we really are. So far, so good? It's not for everyone. For most of you say, hey, I'm the most important person in the universe. The sutra is not for you because you are nothing at all. Sorry. I don't know. I don't care how important you are. You think of yourself. Okay? We are pretty insignificant. And so these world rulers got there because they have. How they become world rulers? Anyone ever asked? Ever thought about it? We've been doing this for almost a year now. No one ever asked me that. How do you become a world ruler? How did they get there? You know, like if the President of the United States, we have to go through an election. Yes. President of China, Communist Party, he needs to go through election as well. Yeah. The Sultan of Brunei, does he need to go through elections? No. Huh? The King of Nepal, does he have to go through elections? No. So how do these beings become world rulers? Ever thought about it? It's sort of like you are like sheep. I speak of things that you don't know, so you don't dare ask questions. You say, oh, let's not offend Master. Huh? If I were in your shoes, I'd say, excuse me, sir. Okay, so they were rulers, but how did they get there? Would you mind telling me how they get there? Huh? So you told us that they have tremendous wisdom. They're actually great bodhisattvas. They're beings of superior wisdom. Superior, really superior, way beyond our comprehension. Okay? But how did they get there? Huh? Is it an election? Huh? Anyone ever wondered? You're a sheep too. He said, oh, I'm going to relax on Sunday afternoon after a good lunch. Oh, look at her. She's sleeping. See? Already. Huh? So how do you become a world ruler? At training schools? Huh? How? Okay, you don't want to know? I'm not going to. Okay, let's move on. Yes, 6. What do you think? What do you think? How they become? See, we've been discussing this. How they got there? How what they cultivated to open their wisdom and so forth, and become so wise. How did they get there?
Did they apply for the job?
Did they apply for the job? Thank you. I'm glad somebody asked. Did they apply for a job? Did they have to apply for a job? Huh? What do you think? Yeah? Yes, 3.
We have a comment from Leo. They got there by serving Buddha.
Serving Buddhas. Okay, stealing from my notes. Yes, 2.
Well, I was just wondering, I imagine the position's not permanent. So
Position you're not permanent.
So there must be
Meaning what?
There must be vacancies.
They could be thrown out or
They may maybe move up to another job.
move out to another job, and graduated or demoted. We don't know. Yes, 5.
Master, first they build their resume.
Build a resume. Yes, absolutely.
the resume-
You want a job? You better build your resume.
The
Yeah.
resume takes the form of building affinity with the beings of this world.
All right. Excellent.
And now they're in the
Can-
lineup to be interviewed and offered the position.
Who interviews them?
The Buddha.
So you ask her about a world ruler we don't know, we haven't seen, and so she sees the Buddha, which is even worse. We can't even see the Buddha. Okay. All right. So Buddha, according to you, nominates them. Is that fair to say? It's no election? Huh? You agree? It's no election. Why isn't there any election? I agree with you. I don't know. I've never been a world ruler, so I don't know. There's no manual. It says how do you become a world ruler anywhere, okay? So this is, your guess is as good as mine, but let's use our collective wisdom, okay? What's the matter with elections? Look at the U.S. That's what's the matter is. Huh? It works. It has its strength. It has its weaknesses. Yes? 5.
I imagine if you held an election, the people voting wouldn't have the wisdom to know who was right.
The problem with elections is that the people who elect you have no wisdom. They don't know what's good for themselves. They only know who they like. Isn't that a problem with democracy? Again, we go into politics again, I apologize. Huh? Think about it. Think about it. Collectively, we elect as a great thing. It's only because no one has wisdom, right? No one knows better. No one can claim, I'm the wisest. I know better than all of you. No one. Yes? Yes, 3.
2 more comments from the internet. T.S. Geppetto says, they got there by attaining the right samadhi.
No. Next.
From Ruzi, can they become world rulers through their vows?
Yes. One of the elements that they say, just very much like us, I want to be president of China. You need to make that vow. You need to have this desire, okay, that drives you. Because you need to do certain things, absolutely, okay? And we call the Buddhists call it vows, whatever, or worldly people call it the ambition, the desire, and so forth, okay? The drive, okay? Whatever. Okay, there is a vow, what we call a vow. There's a very deep desire to do it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Yes, JMT.
저희 지금 안 들립니다.
For those of you who don't know, it's like before 5 a.m. on Sunday morning in Korea right now. Look at these crazy people. They must be desperate. You get up at 5 in the morning yourself? I would never do that.
들리십니까? 들리세요? 네.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
일단 복이 있어야 될 것 같고요. 그리고 네, 그만한 복이 있어야 될 것 같고, 그들은 이미 천상에서 그런 그 우두머리 자리에 있었던 사람들일 것 같아요.
First of all, Master, I think they should have enough blessing to be there. And also, probably there were already a heavenly leader before they arrived there. Thank you.
They were a heavenly leader?
Yes.
They have a leader?
Leader in heaven. That's what she said.
Leader in heaven? No, it's a world ruler. I mean, they rule the world. They don't need anyone to lead them. They're world rulers. They decide. They make decisions. And their desires stick. It's nothing you can do. Because it's their worlds. So what do you think? Okay. DTT. Is there a way for us to test the audio before we get started? Yeah, we can hear you now.
Master, I think the story of a man in the area of Buddha Kasyapa.
Come again? What did you say? Could you repeat that, please? Couldn't quite make it.
Buddha Kasyapa, the man who
Buddha what? Told him to?
Buddha Kasyapa.
Yeah, Kashyapa Buddha, yeah, what about it?
And who fixed the temples, and now in the Sakyamuni Buddha era, he became the God in the second Jhana heaven, the Christian God.
Yeah,
I think
that's a small God.
blessing.
God is a small heavenly king. World rulers here means he rules over many, many heavens. Okay, not just God, the Christian God, which you know, it just rules over one heaven. The world rulers here rules over many, many, many small worlds.
Blessings to make that happen.
I can't hear him.
That's his blessings after the fixing the temples.
That's for one king, one heavenly king, not for everyone. You learn from, so far what you listen to is how they created their blessings through cultivation. You're confused. That story of the Christian God up there, how he became a Christian God, is just one small heaven. That's nothing compared to what these world rulers have to go through. Yes, here, number 3.
Thank you, Master. After planting the proper causes and conditions to reach the level above 10th ground, the Buddha reaches out their hand rubs their crown, and gives them prediction of the placement they will be at.
You're speaking nonsense. My friend, you can't synthesize like the way you do in legal documents or scholarly things. You can't do that because it doesn't make sense. That's what you do constantly. So like what he did is what he quoted the Christian God, how he got there, and it doesn't make sense because it's one instance of how one God, heavenly being, king, got there. Okay? And there's so many ways to get there. And in your case, you're quoting things, you're synthesizing things that they cannot be synthesized. Be careful. This is the problem with scholars. When they read these Buddhist texts, they just read them. And then they use their imagination, very much like most scholarly people. They merge them, they synthesize them, and they try to build another concept above it. It doesn't work like that. In Buddhism, wisdom doesn't work like that. Okay? In Buddhism, when we talk about things, it's based on wisdom, based on real wisdom, not just your intellectual reasoning. Intellectual reasoning is, the way he sounded, is very, very shallow. Because you miss the connection beneath the thinking mind. Okay? What's beneath the thinking mind? There's no way the thinking mind can comprehend cause and effect. It's impossible. There's no way for the thinking mind to really grasp, put their arms around cause and effect. Because it's so multi-layered, multi-dimensional cause and effect. You did something and causes here that now you see the effect. Actually, it's a lot more. Actually, it goes around and round, and then before it gets here. And that's impossible for the thinking mind to process. It's too many layers, too many dimensions. Okay? So be careful. Especially when I brought it up here today because none of you would consider these issues. And the Chinese are so sheepish. They don't ask questions. I'm very curious. I look at them and say, how did this guy get here? That he has a wisdom that they deserve the Buddha to assist, and then if it is such a remarkable thing for Buddhas to know of them, then how do I get there myself? Why can't I be there? What's wrong with me? What's the matter with me? If they're better than me, then how can I get there myself? Does it bother you? No, it doesn't, huh? It bothers me. I feel so insignificant, so stupid. Because I take it out on you doesn't mean I feel any better. Okay? I still feel stupid. I say, these are such a big shot, so many of them. How come I'm so small? I'm so insignificant. I'm so stupid. What did I do wrong? How do I get there myself? Don't I deserve to be there? How do I qualify? You don't think like that, do you? See, you're so happy with your small selves. You say, oh, I'm so happy. You got to be depressed like me. You say, why am I not good enough? Huh? That's an instance where depression is very, very good for you. I don't know how they get there. I'm curious myself. That's all. I need to be honest with you. If I knew, then there's no point in me asking you. I don't know. That's why I asked you. 9.
Thank you, Master. in my humble, inexperienced opinion, I think recognizing how insignificant and small I am is the first step for me to help me build some wisdom.
And let me finish my point with Mr. Alex here. Alex is a very, very wise name, you know. Alexander. What does it stand for? Anyone look it up? Alexander, what does it stand for? I know it's a very, like a potent king, monarch, superior one. And I'm sure that name has a very profound connotation. That's why I never dare use the word Alex. Okay? But anyway, to be more specific for your sake, when you talk, and I look at you, and you would say, Buddha did that, Buddha did that. It's like, who are you? How do you know that he did that? You see, you lack credibility immediately. You can't talk like that. Does it make sense? It may be impressive to people in the world who say, you drop names and so forth. But for us, you better know what you're talking about. Okay? Not you talk about it, you bring it up because you read it somewhere. No. If you met the Buddha and you talk to the Buddha and say, hey, Buddha, excuse me, how do I become a world ruler? And then the Buddha says, okay, blah, blah, blah. Then it's believable. But for you to say, Buddha did it, Buddha did that, you never talk to the Buddha. I can look at you and say, he ain't talking to Buddha. You're not speaking terms of the Buddhas. Am I correct? Correct me, I'm wrong. Are you speaking terms to Buddhas? Why do you bring up Buddha? Buddha did it, Buddha did that. You don't know that. There's nothing that any Buddhist text that says, Buddha did this, Buddha did that, according to you. See? All conjectures, soul thinking mind. That's what I meant by hypotheses. Synthesis. This is what scholars do. And professionals like us, you scholars come to us about Buddhism, Mahayana, and you synthesize things. I read a few lines, maybe half a page, a few paragraphs, and say, you're a bunch of idiots. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to waste my time listening to you or reading your papers. It's nonsense. I just offended the scholars. We have a couple of scholars here today, too. Yes, 6.
Master, do you want to know what the meaning of Alexander is?
Yes, I do.
It means man's defender, warrior.
Warrior.
Yes.
Wow, see? Love the name. What's the Chinese equivalent for Alexander? Chinese people? What's Chinese for Alexander? You have Alexander in Chinese? See, the English speaking, this is named Alexander, is grandiose. Okay? It's manly. Yeah. What's Chinese for that? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Wouldn't it be Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan is manly? Genghis Khan is a savage. Oh, he's dead. I'm safe. Yes, 3.
I think if I was Chinese, my name would be Lao Tzu, but you know.
Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu is an old fart. I mean.
No, just joking. But I'm trying to learn and listen. So to your response to me, when I do contemplative prajna, I shouldn't be learning it. I don't understand. Like, I really did quote a sutra. So should I not, because I didn't personally experience those things, then shouldn't be repeating it?
Then you can't talk to me about it. I'm very judgmental. I'm manic, deep down. So when you take a, you don't know what you're talking about. I reject you. You know what I mean? I reject your hypothesis. And the person behind it. That's manic. Okay, yes, go first.
Emitofuo Master. In Vietnamese, we have also a name equivalent to Alexander. It's called Hung.
Hung?
Yeah, A Hung, yeah.
So we have two Alexanders here today. The Vietnamese have no shame. Okay, moving on. I don't want to offend the Vietnamese. I offended enough people today. So, I don't know. So my guess is, number one, you must have make the vow or the desire. Yeah? You really want to do it. Okay? Number two, you must have affinities. You have wisdom. I'm combining all your wisdom here. You must have affinity with these people, because when you rule over others, they must listen to you. Yes? And therefore, they are the ones who actually have connections with you. Prior relationships. Does it make sense? Otherwise, there's no way for you to rule over them. Okay? Number three, what's different about this world is that they are world rulers in order to, what? Make a difference, to help their subjects, not help themselves. Am I making sense to you? Okay? The difference between the people who have wisdom and the people like the American president is that the American presidents have no wisdom whatsoever. So they can claim, I'm here to help my country, my people, and so forth. Actually, they are, deep down, helping themselves. Can we agree on that? If you have no wisdom, you can talk all you want, but ultimately, everything you do is about helping yourself. Only after you have wisdom, that's when you said, I know the best way to help myself is what? Helping others. That's why then you can believe that they actually are sincere in helping others. Because that's the ultimate way to help yourself. Try to find a book on that. So far, so good? Okay? So you can say these people with wisdom actually are selfish, but they are not selfish. Because they have wisdom. Think about it. If you have wisdom, and all you do is help others until you die, like Master YongHua, isn't that rather stupid? What's wisdom? In helping others until you take a loss after loss after loss. What's in it for you? Think about it. How can I look at him and say, is that wisdom really? You see? So that's why it looks like they are taking losses. Well, actually, they're making gains. That's why it's called wisdom. It's not something that we can understand, but it's very beneficial for themselves. The best way, I repeat, to benefit yourself, sir, is to help others and not worry about yourself. Agree or disagree? That's true wisdom when you think about it. So they have wisdom. That's why they're there, because not only do they want to help others, but they can. Otherwise, they shouldn't be there. Agree? Listen, folks, doesn't matter who you are. We all have to earn our place in this earth. in this world, in this universe. We're here because we are earning our spot here, our position here. Because if we don't, we throw you out, like Master YongHua. When he became too old, too sick, too weak to help, out of here you go. That's life. Yes, we love you, we owe you, we adore you, we're grateful to you, okay? But you can't do it anymore. Get out. I know I'm being brutal towards my master, but that's life, man. Agree, disagree? We all have to earn our spot. As a mother, as a teacher, as a soldier, as a monk, as a nun, doesn't matter. Wherever we are, we have to earn it. We have to deserve it. See, I'm synthesizing all your combined wisdom here. Yes, 3.
Master, how did we get to the point of considering world rulers from a simple religion that spoke of compassion and becoming one with everyone, treating them like you like to be treated, compassion for everyone? How did we get to the point where there's now world rulers involved? I'm a little confused.
Good point. I'm coming to that. I'm glad you asked the question. I like you. What's your name again? G.I. Okay, okay. Okay, G.I. Very good. Excellent. You see, when you learn, you listen. You need to listen. Listen. How do you say actively? Active listening, because it has to make sense to you intellectually as well. Okay. Yeah. Listen to both your ears, your head, as well as your heart. Okay. Now. So you want to be a world ruler, you have the wisdom to be a world ruler and so forth, okay? And how do you go from the small me to the world rulers, okay? You have the blessings to become a world ruler, and how do you get there? You get there because, for whatever the reasons, okay? In the heavens that I know of, you're born in heaven in our small world, okay? Our small world here. You're born in heaven, become a Christian God king, okay? Is because you're born there. You're born into that position. And for heavenly beings, they become mature in 1 week or less. They become adults in 1 week or less. Maybe shorter even in some heavens. Okay? So you're born into that position, if you will, by transformation. There's no election. There's no training. You're born into it. Okay? They're different from us. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. So have Buddhas all been world rulers in the past for eons?
Most likely. I cannot speak for all Buddhas, but most likely Buddhas have to go through this training. Okay? Because they have to prove themselves. And here's what happens. You become world ruler because it's good for you. It's good for us. Good for subjects like us and for the foreigners, sovereigns like them. It's mutually beneficial. Part of us is that we're weak, so we need guidance, we need protection, we need help. Okay, we need structure in our lives. Okay? For them, they need to plant blessings. It takes a lot of blessings to become a world ruler, and you create many more blessings by being one. And that's how they progress in the path to greater wisdom. Think about it. And this is a very important point. How do you develop greater wisdom? How? Remember, these are enlightened beings, so they have wisdom already. Yes? They have great wisdom even. Because they have mahasattvas, they're great bodhisattvas. How do they even make the great wisdom even greater? How? Yes, Alex?
They have greater amount of living beings rely on them.
The great amounts of living?
They have a greater amount of living beings rely on them.
Getting close. Very good. They solve even greater problems than before. Meaning, exactly what you just said. Before, for example, let's give you an example that you can put your arms around. Okay? For us, how do we acquire what they call wisdom here in the world? You get elected through this process here, political process, where you first, in a small thing here, you get elected into the city government offices, become councilman, mayor, and so forth. Yes? And then you run for superintendent, okay, for the county, okay? And then you run for maybe assemblyman, yes? See, so you are responsible for more and more people. You see that? The more people you have, guess what? Monks and nuns. The more people you have under you, guess what happens to you? It's going to happen to you. The more headaches you're going to have. And that's how you develop wisdom, by solving problems. Bigger problems you faced. Okay? Very much like in your world, you start with your position, you become a supervisor, a senior thing, and then you become supervisor, become manager, third line manager, director, vice president, senior vice president, and so forth. Your problems are bigger in scope. That's how you acquire and develop greater wisdom. So it's necessary for them to become world rulers, if you will. Does it make sense or not? It's a natural progression. Very much like, you want to develop to become a mom, you first have one child, and then a second child, and then they fight each other, and then you learn how to deal with the two of them, and then you say, I want to become a better mom. Have another one. See what I mean? It's not funny. You see, don't see. This is a difference between Mahayana and Hinayana. Hinayana says it doesn't make sense anyway because it's your problem. It's it's your life. I'm worried. Let me worry about mine. If you do that, then your skill set is very small. It only developed to solve your small world. This is what Mahayana is about. We keep on expanding our domains, our range. Well, that's what makes life more interesting. You know, even take lunch, for example, lunchtime. I mean, before at Lu Mountain Temple, it's Master Hsien is cooking. It's all green. And only he cooked for strange things, but he put the very expensive green powder his dad gave him. His dad was told that green powder is very expensive. It's tremendous thing. So he puts in everything he cooked. And poor Hsien Shun she was making a face when she was eating it. Did you notice that? Just the three of us. And so Hsien Shun, and myself. That's all we had. Each other against the world. And then the next wave came, the Hsien Ren, and so forth. And with that wave, real food came. They brought with them their blessings, food blessings. We original cultivators are true cultivators. We don't need food. All we need is green stuff. And then now they gave real food. And then the young ones now, you know what they do now? I'm told that when the hot days like this, you know what they do? They pray for ice cream. Before we prayed for enlightenment, now they're actually calling Bodhisattva Buddhas, can I have some ice cream? Before, my life was so simple. I just cultivate. We become enlightened, okay? Now it's like dealing with food, and now next wave is that they need to have fun. It's so complicated. Life is so, in the temple, it's so complicated now. I don't know. Questions and comments? Okay. Now she's awake. JC.
We cannot hear you.
How's the contraband business? You understand contraband, Sarah? Ask Honju, was she able to transport her goods back? Yeah? Okay. Look at that. Look happy. Go on. Go ahead, ask your question.
법보시에 대해서 설명하셨는데 좀 더 자세히 알고 싶어서 질문 드립니다. 법보시가 법을 설하는 것, 다른 사람의 문제를 어떻게 해결하는지 설명해 주는 것이라고 하셨는데 그 법보시의 범위가 부처님의 법이나 마스터의 법문을 의거해서 다른 사람의 문제를 해결하는 것을 말하는지 아니면 그런 법과 상관없이 다른 사람의 문제를 어떻게 해결하는지 도움을 주었다면 그것도 법보시에 해당하는지 궁금했습니다.
Master, I have a question about Dharma giving. Talking to someone and then solving problem could be Dharma giving. So, for example, there's a one kind, Buddha's Dharma and Master's Dharma. We listen to that and use it as a base and solve others' problem. Also, there's another one, just try to solve others' problem without those. Is it all included in Dharma giving? Thank you.
Dharma giving is to offer insights or advices about others' problems that are based on sound principles of the Dharma. And it's very, very often misunderstood concept. You offer help, advices that are sound advices. Sound advices are based on the Buddha Dharma. Does it help? Okay, so what happens for most people, including myself when I first started, is that we make a mistake of thinking that offering advices to others is Dharma giving, or giving, say, cause and effect and so forth. Yeah, it's a low-level kind of advices of Dharma giving. I'm more of the beliefs that you should refrain from giving advices with the Dharma because you don't have wisdom yet. Okay? And so the best way for you to give advices to me, unless you've been certified to have wisdom, you don't know what's a proper Dharma. So far, so good? Okay? So the best way for you to give advices are in three ways, I feel. Okay? Now we're talking about Dharma giving. Dharma giving is explained to you as explaining the Dharma to people. But again, my problem is that you don't have wisdom. How can you possibly explain the Dharma to others? Your explanation would have holes, serious holes. And would sometimes, if you talk like that to me, you create you make me more skeptical. And actually less impressed with you as someone who claims to be a Buddhist, a Mahayana Buddhist, who offers very shallow advice. And I say, so Mahayana, is this shallow? Really? So I'm supposed to be impressed by you and by your Dharma? So anyway, I'm too judgmental. I'm very manic, you should notice by now. Anyway, so I have a problem with the concept of Dharma giving. Okay, I feel that if you ask me about my personal interpretation of Chinese teaching of Fa Shi is to give gift of the Dharma. Gift of the Dharma to me I don't want to go beyond my level, if you will. At low level, I'm perfectly happy with doing Dharma giving at my level. Okay? I try not to pretend that I know a lot more that I really do. Okay? And so I always preface it, I don't know. Most Buddhists, when they ask a question, let me tell you, okay, as if they're the expert. There's so much about Mahayana, about Buddhism, and we're barely scratching the surface right now. For us to say that we're experts, we're the best, it's baloney. We're not. Master Hsuan spent 50 years, maybe 40, 50 years of his life here in the U.S. He taught so much. And in my generation, we don't get that much out of it, unfortunately. My generation. So who are we to say we're the best and we know so much? We don't. Okay? That's not even to mention when are we going to get out from under his shadow is another issue. Okay? But anyway, so when I talk about Dharma giving, first of all, you have, Rushu, be careful. You have to say that I don't know much. Don't ever put the burden on your shoulder and say, I'm expert in Mahayana, I'm the best in Mahayana, I'm the most knowledgeable in Mahayana, I have a degree in Mahayana, I have certification in Mahayana. Baloney. The wisdom in Mahayana is so profound. We don't know really anything yet. Okay? That's real. That's where we are today. So we always have to preface that we don't know much. You better ask someone who is wise, like Master YongHua, okay? Or the Buddhas and Bodhisattva. I'm no Buddha. Do I look like a Buddha to you? Do I look like a Bodhisattva to you? Don't answer that. Okay? So you should approach Dharma giving in a very humble way, is my attitude. Because I've seen too many people claiming they're doing Dharma giving as if it's the most important thing that the Chinese Buddhists are taught to do. Of all the giving, Dharma giving is foremost. We all learn that. Everyone knows that. That's why they're all trying to speak Dharma for you. And to me, it's a disservice to Dharma giving. I'm totally unimpressed. All the Dharma giving I receive from my late Chinese teacher, from his disciples. Seriously? I'm much lower level than you. But what you explain to me is inconsistent with your teachers, what our teachers teaching. And you are supposed to teach me? And you're supposed to be the next generation? I have a problem with that. I reject that. It's manic again. Okay? So I'd like for you generation to avoid making that mistake. Don't claim you understand, because you don't. We don't. We know so little. Okay? So how do we do Dharma giving? Because we are doing Dharma giving whether we like it or not. How? Think. How are you doing Dharma giving right now? Baby. How? Isn't it easier? It's so easy to talk about what is Dharma giving and give me the list of definition. But when I ask you how, everyone says, that's not in the books. Yes, JMT.
청법계를 하고 와서 법문을 듣는 것도 법보시라고 생각합니다.
Request Dharma and also attending Dharma talk is part of Dharma giving.
Yes, true. Anyone else? How are you doing Dharma giving? I'm asked the baby first. Okay? Think about the answer, baby. And yes, go for it. Xianfa, second baby. How are you doing Dharma giving? Go ahead, go for it.
Thank you, Master. To do Dharma giving, what we can do is we can make copy of our Great No Advisor lecture and share it with others. Share the link or copy book and give it out to others.
Okay, very good. See, very good. That's Dharma giving. Yes, anyone else? Okay, baby number 2. She's a baby too, you know, they're all babies. But third generation. And this wave here is gelato. It's other generation. Have you tried the gelato they have? I think he perfected lemon flavor. Mary Jo, I'm serious. He perfected it. I've tried all sorts of places already. I'm a collector. And this is by far the most impressive. He outdid himself. Ooh. Yes, a young man in the back.
Master, where is that?
Where's that? Back to reality. We ain't telling you. We don't have a commercial relationship. What do you think? Anyone? Hey, babies, how are you doing Dharma giving? Or are you? The question, the answer is yes, you're doing Dharma giving. How? By living your life, trying to live your life to the best of your ability according to the Dharma. That's how you do Dharma giving, folks. You don't need to open your mouth. That's baloney. We all are doing Dharma giving because we're all trying to live our lives according to wisdom. With wisdom. You don't need to speak. You understand? And this is what the Chinese people here, that's what the Asians are so lost in. They say, I need to speak Dharma to you. No, you don't. You're speaking so loudly by living it yourself. And to me, that's the most powerful form of Dharma giving, by living it. Your real life example of how you use the Dharma to solve your life problems. The Dharma is only taught to you to help you solve your biggest problems in life and you don't know how to solve. That's what the Dharma is meant to do. Did you know that? It's not for you to show off. It's for you to use it in your daily lives. And the reason you're here, because you find it useful. Yes or no? And that's why I claim you're speaking the Dharma already. Because the people who stopped, who no longer find it useful in their lives, where are they? They're not here. I rest my case. You speak so loudly of the Dharma, our Dharma, American Mahayana Dharma, without saying a single word, except ice cream, gelato. Huh? Isn't that cool? Speaking is secondary. If you live it, you're speaking a Dharma. Yes. Yeah, well. What? He changed his mind now? Okay.
Oh, no, I asked the question already.
You asked the question already. Okay. All right. So far, so good. So, by living your life, you're speaking Dharma. So don't try so hard. Okay? So live a good life. Be a good person. Be kind. Be compassionate. You're speaking Dharma. You're very powerful and eloquent Dharma yourself. Okay? What's another way to speak the Dharma? I remember when I was a novice and the monk and the acting abbot of the city of 10,000 Buddhas was there. He's younger. He's at the time when I came in, he had 10 years experience already as a monk. So he's there. Although his level was not high, it still wasn't high. It still isn't. That's why he struggled a little bit. So one day I came to him and I asked him, how do I meditate? Can you teach me about Chan meditation? Because I'm here to learn about Chan. That's my interest. I give up a lot of things to learn Chan. Where do I learn it? And he says, no problem. Let me tell you. He gave me an article. He says, look up this thing from master, tutor, who teaches about 止观, stopping and contemplating. And that's the essence of Chan in Chinese. But I said, well, I don't speak Chinese. What's my point? Was he giving Dharma or not? He was. Yes. Second form giving, Dharma giving, is to give the proper Dharma from the sages. You can't go wrong. Didn't help me much, but he wasn't wrong. Why do we have to reinvent the wheel? If so much has been taught in our history of Mahayana already. Most of the things, the basics, the fundamentals have been taught already. To refer to the experts, okay? The papers or the patriarchs and so forth. You don't know a particular thing, then you say, okay, I don't know, but you can look up the materials here online from Master YongHua. He's a great patriarch. Maybe he'll talk about it. You have to be truthful. You have to know your limitations. He said the American expression, a man has got to know his limitations. No, it's American wisdom. I don't know about women, but a man. Yes, 3.
Internet. Ruzi asks, following Master's instructions is a part of Dharma giving.
Living it, yes. To live it is to use the Dharma, apply the Dharma, or use the Dharma to shine a light upon your daily lives or your daily problems. That is to live the Dharma. We don't necessarily understand, but we are trying. We shed the light. Eventually, we'll catch on. It takes time. Yes, 3.
Just a point of clarity. There's like Dharma, as in the wisdom of the Buddhas and sutras.
Buddha Dharma.
Buddha Dharma, and then there's Dharmakaya, like the Dharma of the world.
Pure land.
And then like our Pure Land, is what you said?
The Buddha's teachings, use Buddha's teachings.
Buddha's teachings, and then there's Dharma, like, our thoughts are Dharmas. So
Dharmas are like, without capital D, it means anything that the mind conceives of, thinks of, is a Dharma, which is part of the capital D. So in Buddhism, we use a small d Dharma to get to the capital D Dharma. It's very clever in Buddhism. So it's connected. That's why we teach you Dharma, Dharma, Dharma. It doesn't matter whether it's capital D or small d, because eventually it's the same darn thing. The discrimination right now is different, but eventually you see it's the same exact thing. It's so clever, Buddhist teachings. It looked like so clumsy and so confusing. I used to bitch and moan about it. I said, oh my God, why can't you just use different words to be less confusing for me? Because to me, clarity is very important. Okay? Why can't you use why do you have to pay attention to the capitalization of words? D, small d versus big D. And now I realize it's the same thing, the same exact thing, there's no difference. Isn't that cool? So that's why the Buddhist teachers had to put up with us complaining and whining and bitching and moaning and so forth. And eventually you don't quit, eventually you get it. So far, so good. And what's the third way of speaking Dharma? I don't know, I forgot. All right. Anyone else? Anything else? Okay, can we learn some real stuff? Huh? Please. We're on slide 269. This is the verses of these celestial kings, and they spoke the verses by drawing upon the Buddha's aid. So they actually, in other words, the Buddhas themselves are using these celestial kings to speak Dharma for us. Okay? And not only for us, but also these celestial kings, primarily audience with their own subjects. Okay? Here we're talking about the second dhyana heaven beings. Okay? We are here, and above us is first dhyana, second dhyana. Okay, so this level of heavens here in the form realm is there's those beings there. They have issues, so that's why these celestial kings became world rulers to help them address those problems. Okay, very much like here down on earth. We Americans have a set of problems, so the beings here, the rulers here they're elected to help us resolve those problems. Same thing, very similar. All right? So the Buddha used the mouthpiece of the celestial kings to teach the second dhyana heaven dwellers. So far, so good. But it's not just for them. It may appear to be addressed to them. Actually, it's multi-layered. It's for everyone. Okay? So here's the beginning of the verse. I recall the past practices of the Duscum ones, how he served and made offerings to innumerable Buddhas.
我念如来习所行，承事供养无边佛。
I feel that should be Duscum ones, how they served and made offering to innumerable Buddhas. Okay, but it's singular is fine too. It's more accurate to use plural here. Okay, but anyway, for all practical purposes, it's okay. How they served. Because what we talked about this weekend is that in order to become Buddhas, this is the secret Dharma door of the Avatamsaka Sutra. All these beings, they need to serve Buddhas. Countless Buddhas, not just one. Numberless Buddhas. And as a reminder, don't jump up and down and say, "No, can I serve you, Buddhas?" Buddha look at you and say, "No, you can't." Dream on, man. Okay? Know your place. So anyway, they get so high up there. They're world rulers, okay? And they look and they're able to see how in the past the Buddhas have served countless Buddhas. So these world rulers are actually there because Buddhas allow them to. That's how they get there. Buddha says, you become world ruler. Okay by me. Because each world is ruled by one Buddha. Next world, next Buddha. So nothing happens within a world without the Buddha's permission. Buddhas don't like to talk about it, but that's the truth. Have faith. Don't think that you can pull wool over Buddha's eyes. He allows it. Because of the the interplay of our karmic retribution, your karmic retribution, my karmic retribution, her karmic retribution, his karmic retribution, and so forth. All these interplay are so intricately intertwined that we cannot see it. But Buddha says, it's okay. It's okay to have Trump, it's okay to have Putin, it's okay to have Macron, little Macron, and so forth. It's all part of the big ball of wax. Isn't that cool? So he's here, they're there because Buddha says, you my boy. You've proven to be worthy to be there for me. Okay? Questions or comments? Yes, JMT.
어제 육조단경 그 끝부분에 질문이 있는데 어제 법문 시간이 다 돼서 못했는데 지금 해도 되는지 아니면 다음 육조단경 시간에 해도 되는지 먼저 여쭙고 싶습니다.
Master, yesterday about 6 patriarchs lecture, I had a question about at the end of your Dharma talk. Is it allowed? Are you allowed for me to ask question now, or should I wait for next week?
Well, you can ask now, or you can ask any questions anytime. Whether I want to answer or not is another issue. I'm warning you. No guarantee you're going to answer you.
Yes.
You can ask.
그 육제단경 끝에 부분에서 번뇌의 원인을 다른 사람에게서 찾지 않고 스님 들리세요, 세라님? 네, 그 번뇌의 원인을 밖에서 구하지 않는다. 그러니까 내면에서 찾는다라고 하셨고 또 우리 스스로가 번뇌를 선택하셨다고 하셨어요. 어제 법문의 내용은 그랬어요. 그런데 이제 현재 상태는 번뇌가 일어나는 원인을 내면에서는 찾았지만 번뇌가 해결되지는 않고 또 두 번째는 어떨 때는 보자마자 자동적으로 번뇌가 일어나서 번뇌에 대한 선택권이 없을 때는 무엇을 할 수 있는지 질문드립니다. 악셀입니다. 조금만 여기까지 먼저 질문해 주시고 좀 코멘트가 좀 있어요. 네.
So the first part of the question is, yesterday you talked about cause of affliction. And you said the affliction is coming from, don't think the affliction is coming from outside. It's only coming from inside. And we choose the affliction. So the thing is that I realized that I found the cause of affliction internally. I understood, but there's no solution. Another thing is, when there's affliction, it just automatically arises.
Is there a question?
질문이 무엇인가?
자기 스스로 내면에서 그러니까 번뇌의 원인을 찾았지만 번뇌가 해결되지 않고 또 번뇌에 대한 선택권이 없을 때 무엇을 할 수 있는지 그게 질문이고요. 이 질문을 하게 된 원인은 사실은 이제 이렇게 번뇌를 선택할 수 있는 여지가 없이 이미 번뇌의 그 홍수에 빠져 있는 사람이 있는데 그 사람한테 제가 어떤 조언을 줄 수 있는지 그것 때문에 질문드리게 됐거든요.
So there's the situation sometimes someone have afflictions. They're already fallen to the flood of afflictions. It's too late. There's no choice. So when we see someone like that, what kind of advice can we give to them?
When people are so drowned in their own afflictions, stay away from them. Let them. Because unless they ask you for help, shut up. Don't try to help.
도움을 청했어요. 도움을 청해서 제가 마스터의 그 법문을 정리한 걸, 서머리한 거를 줬는데 그거 말고는 제가 할 수 있는 게 없더라고요.
So this person already asked
Okay,
my
so
help.
same thing happened to me. I'm a friend from high school, and we known each other for a long, long time. And every time that he calls me, I know he says, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I say, "Oh." And of course, and when he talks to me, it's on and on about him, the son, the daughter, who is coming out as transgender, and the wife was bipolar, and on and on, and every single time it's the same thing. Okay? Every single time, what do? I just listen. That's it. Because, as you just said, their afflictions are endless. They're not really looking for a solution. They're simply venting. Recognize that. Okay? Because when they really want a solution, the attitude is different. Okay? Most of the time, people are only wanting to vent. Because they basically said, there's no solution. And if you open your mouth, they're going to say, you are so arrogant. You think you know everything, don't you? Because they think they know better than you, or at least as much as you. So they really are not looking for your advice at all. Be aware of that in your particular case too. See, my friend we went to high school together, and he's part of the richer family and much more intellectual, much more sophisticated, and came here, went to Ivy League school, Wharton, and so forth, and he worked as a big shot and so forth. And so he has accomplishment. He's made money now. He's quite well off, and so he says, I'm rich, I'm successful, and you are a beggar. So who am I to give him advices? You have to know your place. Okay? He may say, you're my friend, I like you, so forth, I want to spend time with you. Here, let's go to lunch, and let me buy lunch for you. So I said, okay, I'm so grateful. I tried to choose a very expensive restaurant, but he's always cheap. He says, no, let's go to a cheaper one. Every single time. He says, no, I don't have enough time today. Let's go real close. I said, can we go to Pasadena? He said, no. It's 40 minutes one way and back. I have to drive you back here. I said, it takes too long. Cheapskates. And he has money. That's how he has money. Okay. So the point is that, Jumi, most of the time, especially your friends in particular, they're not looking for a solution from you. All they want is for you to listen. Okay? Stop there. Don't try to help them. I know you're nice and you're trying to help, but you can't. Because they, looking at you, they believe that you can't help them already. Mary Jo, control yourself. Naughty girl. Yeah, 5.
It isn't just friends. I used to make the mistake of thinking because people made appointments with me, they really wanted my input. They really wanted to solve the problem. They don't.
Most of the time, I'm glad you brought it up as a professional, most of the time, people are resigned to their own misery. They're not looking for a way out, folks. They only want to vent. Yes or no? You're so smart. There's nothing you can't figure out already, right? Huh? So you are not looking for a solution. You're simply venting. That's all. Yes, 5.
So I made the mistake of offering solutions, and I've actually had people say to me, I don't want any of that. I just want to be able to talk and vent.
Yeah. Most of the time when people, I'm sorry, I found that out too, listening to a lot of people. They go to see a therapist, not shrink, okay? It's for them to talk, to have someone to talk to. That's all they care about. And that's job security, man. They always need to have someone to talk to, they need to vent. Otherwise, they go crazy. And don't forget that monks and nuns, same thing. When people come to us, they only want to vent. Okay? Don't try to offer them solutions. Okay? How do we get here? How far are we along? Okay, so can I finish my point here? It's a very important point here I need to emphasize for you. Okay? That I did not talk last week. Can you give me a few minutes? Okay? The second line here, they served and made offerings to innumerable Buddhas. We talked about innumerable Buddhas, okay? Innumerable Buddhas meaning because each Buddha has their own way, style of teaching in their world. Therefore, they go there and they learn from the Buddha and the next Buddha, the next Buddha. You see how multidimensional they are? You see that kind of wisdom they have, they're acquiring? That's why innumerable Buddhas. All right? Number two, they served. They don't just simply go there to become a parasite. They actually go there to help by becoming a world ruler, as an example, as cleaning the floors. There's nothing they would refuse to do to serve Buddhas. That's point number two. So far, so good? Don't be so fool yourself. Don't say, can we hire someone to mop the floor for you? No. When the chance arises, opportunity arises, you mop the floor yourself. You polish the silverware yourself. Serve. Like the example I gave you yesterday, when you go to a restaurant, waiter don't say, I don't do this. Let me call the busboy to take it out for you. If your customer who's in a fancy restaurant who's paying a lot of money, and they say, can you, I'm done here. And you immediately take it yourself as a waiter. You don't say, hey, busboy, come here. Is that clear? Is that what happens in restaurants? At least a restaurant I've been to, that my friend would not take me. So far, so good. Serve, meaning it's nothing you would not do to or for them. So far, so good. Don't say, no, I don't do that. I only do this for you. To serve, meaning there's no boundaries. Whatever it takes to serve their needs. So far, so good. Number three, serving is not enough. They made offerings. It is so beautiful. That's why they became Mahasattvas and you're not. Thank you.